There was a time when Jelly Roll was instantly recognizable. His tattooed face, large frame, raspy voice, and unapologetically raw presence made him stand out. Fans saw him as the man who wore his pain openly, turning every difficult moment of his life into songs that cut straight to the heart. But then something shifted. One day, whether on stage, in a video, or at an event, people noticed something was different. It was still him, the same voice, the same tattoos, but his energy had changed. He looked different. He felt different. Those who had followed him from the underground rap scene to the bright lights of country music all sensed it. Nobody could quite put their finger on it. Was it physical, mental, musical? No one was certain. But one truth became clear. Jelly Roll was no longer the same man. Jelly Roll, born Jason DeFord, grew up in Nashville's Antioch neighborhood. His childhood was far from easy. His father sold meat and also ran a bookmaking business, while his mother battled addiction and mental illness. At 14, he was baptized, but that same year he was also arrested. What followed was a decade-long cycle of going in and out of jail, facing numerous charges. Yet, even in prison, he managed to turn a corner, earning his GED at the age of 23. He first stepped into the music scene through hip-hop, inspired by Southern rap legends like 3 6 Mafia and UGK. He began selling mixtapes out of his car and dropped his debut project, The Plain Schmear Tape, in 2003. Between 2004 and 2011, he built a following with his Gamblin' on a White Boy mixtape series. In 2010, his collaboration with Lil White on the track Pop Another Pill went viral on YouTube, racking up more than 6 million views and helping propel the group SNO into the spotlight. Over the years, he continued releasing mixtapes and albums, while collaborating with artists like Struggle Jennings, Haystack, and Tech N9. One of his mixtapes was originally titled Whiskey, Weed, and Waffle House, but after receiving a cease and desist letter from the restaurant chain, he cheekily renamed it Whiskey, Weed, and Women, even stamping the legal notice on the cover as a joke. By November 2021, Jelly Roll achieved a milestone by performing for the first time at the Grand Ole Opry. In 2022, Craig Morgan invited him back to sing Almost Home, and that same year his single Dead Man Walking hit #1 on rock radio. His success only grew. In 2023, his country single Son of a Sinner soared to #1 across multiple charts. He sold out Nashville's Bridgestone Arena, won several CMT awards, and released his 9th studio album, Whitsitt Chapel, in June. By 2024, he was named CMA's New Artist of the Year, testified before Congress about the dangers of fentanyl, appeared in Eminem's music video, performed on Saturday Night Live, and even landed a guest role on Tulsa King with Sylvester Stallone. In 2025, he teamed up with Christian artist Brandon Lake, winning a K-Love Award for Hard Fought Hallelujah, and also appeared on Shaboozie's hit Amen. His journey, from rap battles to the Grand Ole Opry, proved that second chances not only exist, but can lead to the biggest stages in the world. Beneath his rough exterior and gritty voice, Jelly Roll is a man deeply devoted to love and family. Since 2016, he has been married to Alyssa DeFord, better known online as Bunny XO. Their relationship is anything but conventional. It is raw, honest, and built on years of personal growth. When they first met, both were emerging from difficult chapters in life, yet they found strength in each other. Their marriage was never about perfection, but about standing together through every storm. By 2023, 7 years after their first wedding, they renewed their vows, a powerful moment that reflected how far they had come and how much stronger their bond had grown. Jelly Roll often credits Bunny for changing his life. She has stood beside him during his career highs and personal lows, guiding and supporting him every step of the way. Whether behind the scenes or on the red carpet, she has helped him remain grounded and true to himself. Family, above all, remains his anchor. He has 2 children from previous relationships, a daughter who lives full-time with him and Bunny, and a son he chooses to keep more private. Together, Jelly Roll and Bunny share custody of his daughter, raising her with love, patience, and empathy. Though he doesn't reveal much about his kids online, it's clear that they are cherished deeply. His journey as a father has been filled with struggles, but also redemption, proving once again that no matter the battles of the past, love can shape a better future. He has often admitted that one of the biggest reasons he chose to change his life was his daughter. Becoming a father gave him a renewed sense of purpose and showed him that he had something real and meaningful to fight for. At the core of Jelly Roll's home life, it's never been about fame or flash. Instead, it's about healing, growing, and being present for the people who matter most to him. Through all of life's highs and lows, his family has remained his grounding force, helping him find faith. Jelly Roll's story is full of unexpected turns, but perhaps the most moving chapter has been his return to religion. For years, faith wasn't even on his radar. In fact, he felt distant from it. After enduring a harsh childhood, battling addiction, serving prison time, and wrestling with his own demons, it's no wonder his connection with God had unraveled. To him, church felt more like a place of judgment than of love, and so he stayed away from it for years. That began to change when he turned 39. The shift was unplanned. His daughter, who was 14 at the time, came to him and said she wanted to be baptized. His first reaction was disbelief. With humor, he now recalls, "I should go see what kind of cult she's going to," because at that time, religion seemed strange to him, something distant, almost foreign. Yet when he agreed to accompany her to church, something remarkable happened. As he sat watching his daughter with her friends, he didn't feel judged or uncomfortable. Instead, he felt something genuine. He was reminded of what truly matters: kindness, compassion, forgiveness, and community. It wasn't about strict rules or perfection. It was about love and humanity. That moment sparked a quiet but powerful transformation in him. In a 2025 interview, he put it best: "I might wear it a little different than other people, but ultimately I have a heart for God and I have a heart for Jesus." For him, faith didn't mean becoming someone else. It meant reconnecting with something greater than himself, repairing old wounds, showing more grace, and striving to be a better man than he had ever imagined. What makes this renewal so powerful is that it didn't come from pressure, it came from love. Watching his daughter embrace her faith led him back to something he hadn't realized he was missing. Today, faith is another essential part of his transformation, not just in body or in music, but deep within his soul. In 2024, Jelly Roll stepped onto one of the most unexpected stages of his career. Not an arena, but the United States Senate. This time, he wasn't performing for fans or collecting an award. Instead, he was testifying from the heart, sharing his experience not only as an artist, but as someone who had survived the darkest corners of the opioid epidemic. He appeared before the Senate Committee on Banking, Housing, and Urban Affairs to support Senator Tim Scott's Fend Off Fentanyl Act, a bill aimed at fighting the nation's fentanyl crisis, a crisis claiming lives and devastating families every day. He knew he had to speak because he had once been on the other side of that battle. His testimony was unfiltered, emotional, and painfully honest. Standing before lawmakers, he declared, "I brought my community down. I hurt people. I was the uneducated man in the kitchen playing chemist with drugs I knew absolutely nothing about." He spoke openly about the mistakes of his youth, mixing drugs, selling substances, and risking lives without realizing the damage he was causing. While his words carried regret, they carried something more: a desire to help repair what he once contributed to destroying. What made his testimony so impactful was its authenticity. He wasn't polished or rehearsed. He wasn't reading from a script. He was simply being himself, raw, vulnerable, and passionate. He told senators that he wanted to be part of the solution, to help stop fentanyl from stealing more lives the way it had already ravaged so many in his own community. That moment in the Senate was proof of how far he has come. He is no longer just a man with a troubled past or a former addict. He has become a voice for change, an advocate for those still trapped in the cycle he escaped. Few artists manage to turn their pain into purpose the way Jelly Roll has. By standing in front of lawmakers and telling his story, he proved that change is possible, and sometimes that change can reshape everything. Long before Jelly Roll's name was known in music, his life was defined by run-ins with the law. His first encounter with prison came at just 14 years old, setting off nearly a decade of cycling in and out of jail. Throughout his teenage years and early 20s, he faced multiple arrests, including serious charges like armed robbery, burglary, and drug possession. In a candid conversation on the Jay Shetty podcast, he admitted to committing armed robbery at the age of 15, a memory that still weighs heavily on him. He described how reckless and thoughtless his actions were, saying, "There was no logic to what I did." Even now, he feels the urge to apologize to his victims, admitting he didn't truly grasp the impact of what he had done until years later. His mistakes weren't one-offs. He was repeatedly incarcerated for drug-related charges, including possession with intent to distribute, offenses that kept pulling him back into prison time and time again. In one of his interviews, Jelly Roll openly admitted that during that period of his life, he was living in an extremely wild, narcissistic, and selfish way. He wasn't only hurting himself, he was also causing real harm to the people around him and to society as a whole. His years in jail were filled with long stretches of incarceration. Because of repeated offenses, he spent most of his late teens and early 20s behind bars. He explained how jail had almost become normal to him, something he expected, something he couldn't imagine escaping from at the time. Those were years marked by violence, instability, and survival. Whether it was mixing drugs without understanding the dangers or turning to robberies in desperation and confusion, Jelly Roll's past is filled with harsh realities he has never tried to hide. His life before fame was dominated by suffering, crime, and constant time in jail. Another major challenge came in the form of weight criticism and online bullying. In 2024, Jelly Roll faced relentless body shaming that eventually pushed him off social media. His wife, Bunny XO, revealed that the nonstop insults about his weight became overwhelming for him. On her Dumb Blonde podcast and later on TikTok, she shared that Jelly Roll left the internet because he was exhausted from being bullied about his weight, explaining that it truly hurt him. Her honest and vulnerable comments struck a chord. She stressed that people often believe celebrities should simply ignore such insults, but the truth is, they cannot. Outlets like Page Six, The Independent, and TMZ confirmed the reports, noting that his mental well-being mattered more than any desire to stay active online. Page Six also reported Bunny describing him as the sweetest angel baby, while emphasizing how much the negativity had affected him. Despite losing around 70 pounds, while training for a 5K, the cruel remarks continued. His fitness routine, running 2 to 3 miles most days using saunas and taking cold plunges, was originally a personal challenge, but the hateful comments quickly overshadowed his progress. The pressure eventually forced him to leave Instagram, X, formerly Twitter, and other platforms. In April 2024, even Flavor Flav and others publicly defended him. A fan on Reddit called him one of the absolute nicest men on the planet while condemning the cruelty of the internet. His experience served as a painful reminder that no matter how tough or successful someone may seem, social media bullying can deeply damage a person's mental health. Bunny's message was clear: everyone deserves kindness, and online abuse should never drive anyone into hiding. In April 2024, Jelly Roll also found himself entangled in a trademark lawsuit. A Pennsylvania wedding band named Jelly Roll, spelled as one word, sued the singer Jelly Roll, 2 words. The country star, whose real name is Jason DeFord, was challenged by the band, which had been founded by Kurt Tichenel in the 1980s. They had trademarked the name in 2010 and renewed it in 2019. Their federal court filing in Philadelphia on April 8th claimed priority over the name, arguing that the singer's rising popularity was overshadowing their presence, especially in Google searches. Before the lawsuit, searching Jelly Roll primarily showed the band, but afterward, search results listed 18 to 20 references to the singer before mentioning the band at all. The group further argued that the singer's name created confusion in the marketplace, with fears that people might mistakenly hire the wrong Jelly Roll for events, damaging their reputation and business. They even pointed to the singer's criminal history, saying his past convictions and jail time had reflected badly on them. The lawsuit requested a court order preventing Jason DeFord from performing under the name Jelly Roll or anything similar. Before filing, the band had sent him a cease and desist letter in February, but negotiations failed. However, by July 2024, the band voluntarily dropped the case. They announced the matter had been settled and that they would continue using their name. While they hinted at a possible agreement, court records did not confirm any official settlement, and Jelly Roll's legal team made no public comment. The short-lived but heated legal dispute drew attention to the importance of branding, online presence, and name rights. In the end, both the singer and the band retained the Jelly Roll name. Beyond legal battles and online struggles, Jelly Roll's music and image have also faced criticism. Though he has won many fans with his emotional storytelling and his ability to blend hip-hop with country, not everyone is impressed. Some critics, especially on Reddit, argue that his fame stems more from emotional relatability than musical originality. On Our Unpopular Opinion, one commenter bluntly said, "I feel like now he's just releasing music he knows will be a hit because he switched over to country as a genre. It just seems lazy and an easier way to make hits." This reflects a broader criticism that he panders to both rap and country audiences for commercial gain, rather than focusing on authentic creativity. Discussions on Our Country Music Stuff echoed these sentiments. One user admitted to liking him as a person, but added, "Couldn't agree more. Seems like a wonderful fellow. I just cringe at rap country." Another commenter was even more direct. "He's a gimmick with a short shelf life. I think he could easily be a one and done." While Jelly Roll has undeniably built a passionate fan base, the criticism highlights ongoing debates about his artistry, image, and future in the music industry. Critics often portray him as oversaturated, faulting him for playing his songs too frequently on the radio and in crossovers. One listener put it bluntly, "His music is just not good and he has no talent in my opinion." Others have complained that his songs revolve around recurring themes of personal suffering and redemption, yet lack vocal refinement or richness in musicality. Another user remarked, "The lyrics aren't very deep or complicated, and the music itself isn't creative or unique." One more added, "All the songs kind of sound alike. Great story, but a little overrated IMO." There are even more scathing opinions on other sites. On All Our Music, a commentator posted an especially harsh take. "The real offenders are turds like Jelly Roll, who couldn't be cornier if he tried. He's like a redneck pit bull." Even with words that strong, not everyone shares such views. Many fans admire his raw honesty and emotional intensity, even if they aren't in love with his musical style. And whatever the criticism, Jelly Roll's financial journey is undeniable. From a modest start, his net worth has climbed from about $1 million a few years ago to an estimated $16 million by mid-2025, according to Celebrity Net Worth. That spectacular rise comes from a variety of sources. Much of his income is powered by tours and live performances. He has headlined major runs such as the 2023 Backroad Baptism Tour and the Beautifully Broken Tour, and is scheduled to co-headline stadiums with Post Malone in 2025. These events often sell out, generating millions in ticket sales. Music streaming and record sales add another steady revenue stream. Albums such as Wits at Chapel and Beautifully Broken have reached the top of the charts, with Wits at Chapel debuting at #1 on the Billboard 200. His songs have earned over 2 billion views on YouTube, bringing in at least 3.4 million in video revenue alone. Platforms like Spotify and Pandora also add to his income, with reported earnings of more than $360,000 annually from Spotify and another $1.3 million from Pandora. Beyond music, Jelly Roll's revenue comes from merchandise, shirts, hoodies, hats, and more, sold at shows and online. His social media presence further boosts his financial standing. YouTube ads reportedly brought in around $2 million in a single year, while millions of followers across Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter position him well for brand partnerships and sponsorships. He has also launched a record label, invested in real estate, including a Nashville home, and acquired a collection of luxury cars. While some sources place his worth between $10–12 million, the more reliable estimate of $16 million matches his booming multi-platform revenue streams. In a short, what began as mixtapes sold out of a car has grown into a thriving empire. Touring, streaming, merch sales, social media, endorsements, and investments now define Jelly Roll's bottom line. He's not merely surviving, he's thriving. Another transformation that stunned fans was his dramatic weight loss. In early 2023, after several health scares, Jelly Roll committed to becoming healthier. By April 2025, he revealed on Jimmy Kimmel Live that he had shed nearly 200 pounds, now weighing about 357 pounds. Kimmel even quipped that he had lost a whole 200-pound man. Jelly Roll credited his progress to a straightforward plan. High protein, meals, vegetables, walking, and eating clean overall. Even before that, in 2024, he had already made strides, losing 110 pounds by trading in old habits for daily workouts, improved nutrition, saunas, and cold plunges. He walked or ran 2 to 3 miles most days, played basketball, and even boxed on tour, finishing his first 5K in May 2024. By March 2025, more changes were evident. His wife, Bunny XO, noted details like new chest hair, signs of his body's transformation. He spoke openly about hiking mountains, something he never imagined doing before. In late 2024, he told his wife he wanted to be on the cover of Men's Health by March 2026, vowing he would be unrecognizable. Fans and media flooded comment sections with disbelief. Is that even him? But the transformation went far beyond numbers. His face looks sharper, his posture is straighter, and his energy radiates brighter. The days of the heavy, sweating performer chain-smoking on stage are gone. He remains Jelly Roll, but one who now moves, looks, and lives like a new man. In interviews on The Bobby Bones Show, Taste of Country, and Jimmy Kimmel Live, Jelly Roll has emphasized that his true goal isn't just about losing weight, it's about living. He wants to skydive, bull ride, run marathons, and maybe even wrestle an alligator one day. Most inspiring of all, despite all the change, he has stayed true to himself. There are no shortcuts here, no hype, no quick fixes, just hard work, discipline, and the will to truly live. As the photos show, Jelly Roll's transformation shocked even those closest to him. This wasn't just about losing weight or looking different. For Jelly Roll, it was life or death. On the Full Send podcast, he opened up about a serious health crisis in late 2022 that became his wake-up call. He realized he couldn't keep living in the fast lane if he wanted to see his daughter grow up. That was the breaking point, the moment he decided to change. Speaking openly, he admitted that his biggest motivation was living long enough to be the father he always promised to be. In the same interview, Jelly Roll described how walking onto a stage once left him drained and worried. Now, he trains like an athlete. He added boxing, hiking, and long walks to his routine. Not to impress anyone, but to build a life that exists outside of music. And when he took the stage at the 2023 CMT Music Awards, he broke down in tears, telling the crowd, "I'm proof that you can change." He dedicated his win to everyone who's ever needed a second chance, and the roar of the audience showed just how deeply his words hit. But this was never just about a slimmer figure. It was about reclaiming his future, not only for himself, but for his daughter, his family, and for anyone holding on to hope through their own struggles. Jelly Roll's story already feels like something out of a movie. He went from selling mixtapes out of his car to performing for thousands of fans, even testifying before the U.S. Senate. That's not a path most people with his past get to walk. What makes his journey so powerful, though, is how real he has kept it. He never hid the pain. He never pretended to have it all figured out. Instead, he used his voice, his music, and even his struggles to connect with people who felt unseen. He isn't chasing perfection. He's chasing growth. Whether it's writing songs that hit you in the gut or taking longer walks each day for his health, Jelly Roll proves that change doesn't need to be flashy. It just needs to be honest. And while the fame, the awards, and the millions of fans are all part of his story, what truly sets him apart is his heart. He's a living reminder that no matter where you come from, it's never too late to rewrite your story. As he steps into new challenges, through music, through advocacy, or simply by becoming a better version of himself, one thing is certain: Jelly Roll isn't slowing down. He stands as proof that the most powerful transformations don't just happen on the outside, they come from deep within. If you found Jelly Roll's journey as inspiring as we did, make sure to like this video and subscribe for more powerful stories. We've got plenty of deep explorations, real-life transformations, and behind-the-scenes moments coming your way. Don't forget to hit the bell icon so you never miss an update. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.